And we'll talk a little more SU football here with UConn really in control in this entire game. I think there were a few things that stuck out right at the end of the game for me. The first of which was could be a season saver. I mean, you can't go 0-2. You can't be 0-2 Friday night. Colgate coming in, probably like 30,000 fans in the Dome. A lot of people already down on you, forgetting about last year. It just would have been an awful, awful scene. So possible season saver. Again, I'm not a big hyperbole, live in the moment kind of guy, but definitely worth thinking about, something that you might look back on and go, it could be. The other thing I thought was just like the four things that came immediately to mind for me, in terms of how Syracuse won this game. And that's really where I wanted to kind of dive in on this video. The first thing was I thought that the tone was set for the majority of the game with the first drive that Syracuse failed to score on. Syracuse took the ball all the way down the field. They were looking really good, balanced offense, chunk yardage, and then fourth down comes, and I had no problem going for it on fourth down. But that play call was brutal, 4th and 2 QB sneak. I mean, just awful. If you're going to call that, I would have taken the points to at least have something on the scoreboard. Go let your defense play a little bit. They don't get it. It kind of set the tone for UConn hanging around. It set the tone for, in the trenches, the physicality and the bludgeoning that we saw by Tennessee last week, continued by UConn this week. Syracuse has some serious offensive line and defensive line issues. They have tackling issues defensively. So I thought it really set the tone for a lot of that, right? And it was scoreless after one, but you just got the sense that once that drive happened, Syracuse went 3 and out on the next drive. It just took so much air out of the balloon, perhaps some lost confidence there. UConn, after that punt, they go 10 plays, 60 yards. They take the lead. You're like, here we go. That's the one thing you didn't want to do. I said it before the game, like you want to set a tone and get the first score. After 7-0 happens, Syracuse, fumbles the ball away. The defense, though, holds. 3 plays. It was a 3 and out, basically. And, when I look at this situation, I'm like, this is going to be one of those games. It's just low scoring, and the clock is going to tick, and it's going to tick, and it's going to talk, and it's going to be like one of those deals where you're like, if you're an SU fan, you're on pins and needles trying to figure out what the hell's going on. And it's going to be a game that you're like, we could have a lot more success right now. It could be a lot closer, but mistakes, not taking advantage of that drive. Like, there's so many different things that you look at and you go back on and say 1, 2, 3, or one thing or two things, and it could have set tones. I'm not saying it's everything, but it's certainly something. And then Syracuse obviously, gets the ball back. They get a field goal to make it 7-3. Then UConn goes right down the field again. The defense can't tackle. It's chunk yardage. It's a quick striking UConn offense. Now they've got all the confidence. 6 plays, 77 yards, and it's 14-3. Syracuse gets, a field goal to make it 14-6 at the half, late. But I thought really one of the big 4 things in this game, number 1, the tone was set by Syracuse not scoring. And with them not scoring, confidence was built on the other side. It was lost on one side. It was a nip and tuck game, physicality. Syracuse couldn't get going. The crowd was out of it. The balloon was, the air was taken out. There were so many of these different things that were happening. And I felt like that first drive, if SU had just gotten points there, something as small as that, again, not everything, but certainly something. So that was the first thing. The second thing was because of that drive And because of miscues across the board and poor, execution by Syracuse and play calling by Jeff Nixon offensively, I thought it allowed the second half for Syracuse in the fourth quarter, especially because it was a 17-6 game with 10 minutes to go. And Jelly threw that interception, and you're like, oh boy, this thing's dead. But it allowed Syracuse to be the ultimate adjustment team in the fourth quarter. It allowed Syracuse to do a great job defensively. I mean, this game was 17-6 after UConn got that field goal in the third quarter. UConn did not score again after that until, they got that field goal to tie it to send it to overtime. So the defense for Syracuse, they were picking up the offense like crazy. Think about it. The third quarter went like this. Field goal UConn, punt Cuse, punt UConn, punt Cuse, punt UConn, punt Syracuse. Some of the worst offense you've ever seen. 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 6 and out, 6 and out. I mean, that's awful. But UConn was still in control. Fast forward to the fourth quarter. Punt, 3 and out for UConn. Syracuse, they get a huge break on that 3 and out because it was the punt miscue, right? It was the punt miscue. The missed field goal by Syracuse at 17-6. You're going, what the hell is going to happen this time? Then it's punt UConn. Then it's the Angeli interception. And you're like, this is not meant to be. 0-2, Friday night Colgate. Oh my God. Everything's going through your mind. And then they forced a 5 and out. Syracuse then gets things really going. And this is the major adjustment part offensively, right? Syracuse goes 7 plays, 90 yards in a minute and a half, just over a minute and a half. Down the field. Open it up. 7 plays, 90 yards. Big plays, big strikes, chunk yards. And Willis got an 8-yard deal. I thought that they abandoned the run too early in the first half. There was a good 2.5 quarter, 3-quarter stretch where Syracuse, they didn't even really run the football enough, I thought. And Willis, there was some openings on the left and right side, off the tackle. I thought, he's a big guy. He's got big speed, east-west, north-south. He's got the size, speed, footwork, to make that happen. And they just abandoned the run. But anyways, when Syracuse got that TD, it was like, oh, because it was Willis for 8, Willis for 3, right? Angeli to Hornsby for 20. He was spreading the wealth, open it up. Russell got in the act a little bit there, and you were kind of wondering where he was earlier in the game. Incomplete to Ross Simmons, but then UConn's corner follows Ross Simmons down the sideline, all of a sudden stops, gives up on the play, and Jelly reads it. Bang, right up the sideline for 53, Cuse is back in at 17-12. Then it's the defense again, holding UConn to a 6 and out, right? And you're like, okay, now Angeli's got to go do it again. And he did it again. Touchdown. As efficient as the drive before. 10-play, 80-yard, 118. Those 2 drives and the defense holding UConn to 17 over a big stretch, huge, huge deal. So, number 1, oh no, what would have happened if they had lost this game, 0-2, Colgate, this and that. These are the things that immediately rang up here when the game ended for me. What would have happened 0-2, Friday night Colgate, bad crowd, oh no, Fran Brown momentum lost, adversity, schedule still brutal, to come. Number 2, not being able to score on that first drive, setting the tone. But from that, number 3, Syracuse was the ultimate adjustment team in the really late third quarter and all fourth. And then number 4 would be the Fran Brown effect. If this was a Greg Robinson, Scott Schaefer, Dino Babers team, no offense to those guys, they're all good guys. They lose this game 30-3, 35-6. Maybe they don't score. Those are all important things to consider when Fran Brown is your head coach. The fourth quarter was wild. I mean, to be able to go 10 plays, 80 yards, and before that, going 7 plays, 90 yards in 2 drives that were about, 134, 234, 2 minutes and 52 seconds, quick math. Pretty darn impressive. Now, UConn still had time They drive down, heck of a one-handed catch with the ball thrown behind by the UConn player. And that put him in good shape for, the field goal to tie it. And then they went, it was Skylar Bell who caught that pass. This is an unbelievable play. Unbelievable play. I mean, to go fourth down on that and catch it was insane. I mean, 4th and 10, a 27-yard play where Fagnano throws it, behind him for him to get it. I thought the QB actually threw it intentionally behind him because it was like if he threw it in the breadbasket, a couple of SU guys around, it gets picked off and that's it. But they get that catch, end of regulation. It's a tie game, and then Syracuse gets the ball. Really, really great job by the Orange right out of the chute. 5 plays, 25 yards. They kind of picked up where they left off with the offense. Just kind of blending it, scoring it. Short yardage situation there was pretty ballsy. Pretty ballsy to throw it, but they did it, and and then from there, they held UConn. It was a 6-play deal for Connecticut, and there was an incompletion in the back of the end zone. So just an awesome, not game, but awesome back end of the third quarter, fourth quarter, especially for Syracuse. UConn had to have been a really, really brutal ride home. But I thought it was really won and lost in the adjustment part for the fourth quarter, the Fran Brown effect. Certainly the offense opening it up a ton. And, within that adjustment word, of course, the defense doing their thing and holding, at 17 as well. Couple of big performers as well that I want to get to before I sign off here. But before I do, third down efficiency was horrendous by both teams. 4 for 17 for UConn, 5 for 15 for Syracuse. But if you look at a lot of these team stats, they're pretty similar. You look at the passing, the completions and attempts, you look at total yards, you look at yards per pass, you look at penalties, which the game took forever. But 32 yards for UConn, 28 for Syracuse. Not really a lot of penalties. Time of possession, only a 6-minute difference-ish. Not drastic there. Rushing, UConn had a major advantage for sure. Turnovers, Cuse had a couple. They got away with them. SU got away with this one overall. But I thought for the most part, the team stats were pretty identical, man. They really were. Couple of individual performances. Obviously, Cam Edwards was a guy Syracuse had to keep an eye on. This guy had, well over 100 yards of total offense. He busted one against them last year for 71 yards, or the last time they played. So he was a focal point, but Brown and Edwards both ran extremely hard. UConn had 142 yards rushing. They're both very talented backs. Was impressed with Skylar Bell. A talented guy. I think he could play on Sundays next year in the NFL. Just a quick, rangy, shifty wide receiver with really good footwork and hands. Again, Syracuse, really, I thought disappointed I was that they didn't go to the ground game more. Steve Angeli had a 400-yard game, but he had to throw it 53 times to get there. In fairness to him and in defense of him, he had a brutal 3 quarters, just like a lot of the team. But he adjusted, and he had those 2 great drives, which I think you have to take away from it, right? It's like you struggle on the golf course a little bit. You can't get away from the double bogeys. You make a couple pars on the back 9. Maybe you birdie the last hole and you end up shooting kind of what you usually do. And you're like, all right, well, that's the one I'm going to take from it. I'm going to get a couple double bogeys here and there. I'm going to take the finish. And that's what brings you back. Well, it's going to bring Syracuse back to the Dome on Friday night against Colgate. Volari, career day, 7 catches, 104 yards. Great job by him. There were some defenders that were really just all over the place, right? Jobity Jr. Was an awesome, really impact guy for Syracuse. He had a major sack. Late in the game, big plays, tackles for a loss. He had a couple of those, just great stuff on multiple UConn drives where he was able to just bust through and make some serious plays. He's a defensive lineman. Fran Brown's really counting on him. He's 6'4", 300 pounds. If you know his history, he's just been kind of grinding inside the program. Has stayed the whole way and is a Buffalo kid. And just had a fantastic game in this one. And I had a couple people throw notes to me on social about this. Deuce Chestnut, continues to be a guy Syracuse can count on in a game for the sustainable part of it. We second level guys, you got Derek McDonald and some of those other linebackers I thought got better with the tackling as it went on. Syracuse had some interchangeable parts, some injuries to start this game too, so they were able to adjust and get it done. But, certainly you win as a team, lose as a team, and the way Syracuse was able to kind of adjust and get things done, it was a necessary thing. Now, I don't know, again, prisoner of the moment, hyperbole, et cetera, all that. I'm not going to say anything because I'm not that guy, hot takey guy, and live in the moment, but are we going to look back on this baby and go, you know what? I mean, it could be a little season saver here for the Cuse. Time will tell. Mike Lindsley here on YouTube Live. Thanks for joining me. Just wanted to kind of throw out a video here and see if anybody wanted to join. It'll be up on the feed for good, so you can go back and check it out. Going to try to do more of these on YouTube Live, of course, and get you folks going. But make sure you subscribe to the channel here at ML Sports Platter. I'll have Bills and NFL coverage today all day long. It'll be a busy week as well with the podcast. I got a bunch of thoughts on the Eagles win on Thursday coming out tomorrow on the audio side. Make sure you subscribe to ML Sports Platter here on YouTube. Follow, subscribe, rate, review the audio side and all the social platforms, both Facebook pages, X, YouTube, Instagram, you name it, ML Sports Platter, Mike Lindsley, everywhere I can be found. Subscribe, follow, rate, review, share everything as well. Appreciate it. We are brought to you by our good friends at Batavia Downs Gaming, Western OTB, Ken's Auto Detailing, and, of course, RV Source of Central New York. You can buy, sell, rent, trade, and store RVs at RV Source of Central New York, your official RV headquarters of the Platter. Make sure you check them out online and on all the social platforms as well at rvsourcecny.com. That's rvsourcecny.com. The dedicated, experienced RV professionals view the inventory online. They've got Class A, C, fifth wheel, and travel trailers. And, of course, they're always looking to buy from you as well. And they've got on-site service. The rentals are terrific. Bring it home and then leave home. RV there yet? You're never just a number. Experience the difference today with RV Source of Central New York. My man Mike McKay and his team, the Chase to 100. It's getting close. Help them get there. The official RV headquarters of the Platter is RV Source of Central New York. Want to throw a quick tip of the cap thank you as well to the Allen Angus Pub. Make sure you grab a burger and a beer this week there before and after all the big events in Central New York. The official pub of the ML Sports Platter, and thanks to some select partner friends of the show as well, Jamie Geralaman and Jam and Beats, Brent Ostrander and Elevate Barbershop, Chris Cara, Dave Midgley, Dan Van Hart, John Kilb, Don Cambereri, and Nancy and Brian Miller. As I always tell you,